Hey guys, so today I am showing you all of the colors that I was able to pull out of my collection that match the Pantone 2020 color of the year, which I believe is called Classic Blue. Today's video is a collab video with my friends Amy and Amanda, so we'll link their channels down below. And I have a good amount of polishes here, so I will get right into it. So I'm going to start with this one. This is Essie's Mezmerised. This is the polish that I have on my nails, and this is kind of the baseline blue that I used to find all the other ones. It's kind of difficult to try to match a polish to a color on a computer screen because different devices will show colors so wildly differently between them. So I used this polish just based on like online word of mouth, it being the exact Pantone color of the year 2020. And I used this as my baseline for all the other colors. So Essie's Mezmerised is the first classic blue shade, which I'm gonna double check that that's even what it's called, because I'm gonna say it a lot in the video. I also have kind of a classic blue hairline today because I got my hair done and I am stained. Yes, classic blue is the shade. I did also want to bring out Sally Hansen's Pacific Blue, the original, just because I feel like anytime this shade of blue is talked about, I get a lot of questions about this shade of blue. These are not exact. The Essie Mezmerised Pantone Classic Blue shade is a little bit darker. I don't have it yet, but I will have a clip of these two next to each other so you can see the differences. So I got this out not because it fits with the Pantone color, but just because I knew I was going to get asked about it. And not all of these shades are exact matches. Some of them lean a little bit in one direction or the other. And I did double check all of these, and for the vast majority of them, with the exception of two colors, they were pretty easy to find online, be it Amazon, eBay, someplace like that, since some of them, especially the mainstream ones, are from older collections. So next polish I have is Essie's Catch of the Day. So Catch of the Day in general is a little bit brighter of a blue, and it does have a blue shimmer to it, but it is very, very close. And I didn't want to list just a bunch of polishes that were all cream shades. I wanted to try to find some shimmers and some glitters and things that fit into that category as well. So this is very similar to Essie's Mezmerised. It's like very, very close in shade to the Classic Blue. It's a little bit brighter. I would say it has a little bit less of that dusty quality to it. And then it also has a blue shimmer. If you look very closely in the bottle, that shimmer seems to shift to a little bit of a purple shade, but that's not very obvious on the nails. So that is Essie's Catch of the Day. So I have a few from OPI. This first one is Mikasa S Blue Casa, which is from the Mexico City collection, which is the spring/summer collection for this year. This one again is just a little bit lighter and a little bit brighter than the Classic Blue shade, but it is very, very close, and it's a very readily available blue cream that matches the Pantone 2020 color of the year if you don't already have one. So that is one of them. I also have Tile Art to Warm Your Heart, which is Lisbon. I think from the Lisbon collection, which might have been last year, might have been 2 years ago, I don't remember. This is definitely a shade or two brighter than the Classic Blue shade. I'm keeping this one in my hands. I can describe them. A shade or two brighter than the Classic Blue shade. I personally like this brighter shade better than the Classic Blue, but that's not what we're talking about. So if you have this one, that is also a good alternative. Not exactly, but pretty close. I also have one from the OPI, what was this called? So this is from the OPI Pop Culture collection. So this is Bumpy Road Ahead from OPI. This was a collection of texture polishes, but they weren't like good looking texture polishes. I don't know, there were 6 polishes in this collection. This one is a pretty good match to the Classic Blue shade. It does have a little bit of a kind of teal shimmer to it, but the texture on this is like very weird and probably not gonna be everybody's cup of tea. This whole collection was kind of like a weird fever dream of a collection, but this is like almost exactly the Classic Blue shade in a texture finish with a shimmer. So if you were looking for something like that, this could be an option. I'm trying really hard not to rush this video, but I can hear myself talking faster and faster. So the next one that I have, which is very, very close, maybe like, just has like a drop of purple in it compared to Classic Blue, is this Sally Hansen Miracle Gel in Beatnik. Now, I don't know if this is permanent or not. I haven't actually checked to see if this is on a physical display in the store, but if you Googled Sally Hansen Beatnik, it is pretty readily available to buy online. Like I said, maybe just like one drop of purple more than Classic Blue has, but still very, very close. These Miracle Gel polishes are not gel polishes. They're just one of those long wear gel-like but not gel polishes that I feel like every brand has come out with in the last couple of years. They do suggest using this with their special top coat, but it is not entirely necessary and they don't need to be cured. Just so you know, I know sometimes when the word gel comes out in a polish line, people get a little wary. Not a gel polish. I have one polish from China Glaze, and I was actually kind of surprised that I didn't find an exact cream polish match in my China Glaze collection. But I have Joy to the Waves, which is from, I can't remember the year. It was a few years ago. They did a holiday collection, and it was a very like beachy, tropical kind of holiday collection. So it was very different than the normal holiday polishes. I liked it. This is a shimmery blue, a little bit lighter than the Classic Blue shade, but close, and then it has a nice gold shimmer to it as well. It's not, I wouldn't say it's like a very bright, obvious gold shimmer. It's almost like a greeny gold now that I'm looking at it, and it's a little bit more subtle, but it also is a very, very fine shimmer, so it kind of glows out of the polish rather than having larger like, particles that you can pick out. I feel like I'm making no sense. So that is an option as well. I have one cream polish from Zoya. This is Mallory. This is not an exact match, but again, very close. It's a little less dusty, a little bit of a brighter blue than the Classic Blue shade, but it is an option if you already have this. I'm trying to find something from every brand, so maybe you already have it if you're looking for this color. So it is Zoya's Mallory. And the other shade that I have from Zoya is River. Looking at this, I feel like it doesn't belong in here. Now this looks much, much brighter than the Classic Blue, but it has a very bright blue shimmer to it, which I think is kind of giving that look. It's obviously not an exact match, but it is a more shimmery version of the Classic Blue color. This is another one that kind of has a little bit of a purple flash in the bottle, but doesn't really show up too much on the nails. So that is Zoya's River. Now I am going to mention a Kale polish here, which I feel like is a bad word. So I have a Kale polish Porter Miami, which if you have it, great. If you don't, you're probably gonna have a little bit of a hard time finding it given that Kale polish isn't made anymore. And I think this was one of the more popular shades anyway. So good luck if you're looking for it, but if you already have it, you're good. This is a lighter blue. It's definitely not an exact match. It's a few shades lighter than Classic Blue. It actually leans a little bit more in the Pacific Blue direction, but again, I'm trying to find things that might already be in your collection, so I did want to mention this as well. So moving on to the indies, I have two polishes from Cirque Colors. These are both still available on the website right now. So the first one that I have is called REM, and this is that Classic Blue shade. It has a shimmer in it that shifts from a green to a red, and then it has little tiny holographic flakes in it as well. So it's got a lot of things going on, and then at its core, it has that Classic Blue shade. I do feel like I veered away from like exact matches to Essie's Mezmerised once I got into the indies because I wanted to find some different finishes. The next one that I have from Cirque Colors is Lapis Lazuli, which, Lord help me. This is that same Classic Blue base, but it has shifty multi-chrome flakies in it, but they're very, very small multi-chrome flakies. They shift from like a green to an orange, and they just stand out really well against that blue base. And I'll link all the indie websites down below as well, so they're a little bit easier to find. Next up, I have Ink Again from KBShimmer. This is a pretty good match. It might go a little bit brighter than the Classic Blue shade, but this is a nice blue holographic that is a pretty decent match. And it's the only like true linear holographic that I was able to find in my collection that matches this blue. So I'm being very nitpicky when I say not exactly, but it is very, very close. Next, from Picture Polish, I have Forget Me Not. This is, again, a little bit brighter of a blue shade, not by much, and then this has the scattered holographic. It's like, I feel like most of Picture polishes these days have that scattered holographic finish, and this is the version of that matches, oh, bless you, with those little tiny holographic microflakes. So that's what Forget Me Not is, but in that Classic Blue shade. This is still available on the Picture Polish website. Cat number 2 is now using the litter box. So if you're after a little more that's a poop. She pooped. I really need to find another place for this litter box. So that is Picture Polish Forget Me Not. The last two that I have are both from ILNP, or I Love Nail Polish. This first one is called Good Vibes. This one runs a little bit darker than the Classic Blue shade, and it's also a scattered holographic. So compared to the Picture Polish, which also has that scattered holographic shade, this one is a little bit brighter, the Picture Polish is. The ILNP a little bit darker. The ILNP also has a much more intense scattered holographic. These Picture Polish ones tend to be in a little bit creamier of a base, so they're slightly less like blinding in your face holographic than the I Love Nail Polish shades, which tend to be more in a jelly base and generally have more of that scattered holographic packed into them, so it kind of just depends on what look you're after. But I Love Nail Polish Good Vibes was a little bit darker, like I said, but still a pretty good match for the Classic Blue, but also packed with that holographic. I really wanted to find a glitter in my collection that matched Classic Blue, but I actually couldn't find one. They were either way too dark, way too navy, or much lighter. So while this is not a glitter, I think it's the closest you'll get to a very glittery finish with this color. And the last polish is also from ILNP, or I Love Nail Polish. This is called Deep End. This has a blue jelly base that is very close to that Classic Blue, maybe a little bit brighter, a scattered silver holographic, and then a really strong shimmer that shifts from green to red. So a lot of stuff going on with this one too. So if you're looking for something that's not just a cream shade or that has like a lot going on, this is going to be the busiest of all the polishes that I've talked about, followed by REM from Cirque. They're actually very close, but the shifting shimmer in I Love Nail Polish Deep End is a lot stronger than in the Cirque polish. So hopefully I didn't rush through that too much. I don't try to, I get nervous when I sit down in front of the camera and have to try to describe colors. So those are my 2020 Pantone Color of the Year Classic Blue shades. Again, I will link all the polishes listed, and then I'll link all the indie sellers down below. Like I mentioned, the only one I think you're gonna have a hard time finding is the Kale polish. Everything else should be relatively easy. I did Google, actually I didn't even Google the Kale polish, but I did Google all the other ones just to make sure they were still available somewhere. So I will also link Amy and Amanda's channels down below since this is a collab video. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will talk to you later. Bye.